And then take that movement in the opposite direction. Go ahead and shift the hips, circling the spine. You can let your chest dip low and then round through the spine a couple of times if you like. And then go ahead and bring your knees together to touch. Slide them back behind you so that they're behind your hips instead of right underneath. So we're starting to make this diagonal in our upper body. Finding a modified plank, bring your shoulders to stack over your wrists and pull your belly in. Press the palms into the mat, spread your fingers really wide here. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, pulse lowering down just halfway until your shoulders line up with elbows, and then press back up. Do that 2 more times. Shifting forward, you can lift your feet if you like. As you exhale, only lower down to where your shoulders line up with your elbows, and then press it back up. 1 more time here as we pulse lower down. And now let's take a break and shift the hips back into child's pose with our knees together, arms reach out in front of us with the elbows lifted. So we're in sort of this active child's pose. Take a breath in, take a breath out, and now glide yourself forward into modified plank. Come past your wrists and exhale, lower halfway. Inhale, press back up, and send your hips back to that child's pose. 2 more times now, just like that in a flow. As we inhale, glide forward. Exhale, shoulders line up with elbows. Inhale, press to modified plank. Send the hips back for child's pose. 1 more time, inhale, glide forward. Exhale, lower halfway to your hover. Press through the palms, lift up, and send the hips back, child's pose. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me a little bit better. Stay as you are in your child's pose. So go ahead and lift your gaze slightly. My cat's going crazy, it's lunchtime. So when you're ready, start to extend your right leg out to the right so that your arch of your foot is in line with your bottom knee. And then walk your left hand underneath of your shoulder. Sweep your right arm over your ear line for modified side plank. So we're getting this big stretch from our right pinky toe all the way through our right pinky finger. Rotate your right ribs open to the sky. You can even gaze up if you like. And now use your obliques, come onto your left fingertips, and then bring your right fingertips to your right shin. Lift your left arm up and then over for a gate pose or a gate stretch. Keeping your left shoulder stacked on top of the right, maybe gaze over to the left. And if the top arm is starting to coil down, you can always bring that hand behind your head instead. Keep equal length through both side bodies. And then bring yourself back into that sort of tabletop with child's pose legs, knees come together, and hips sink back to the heels. Stretching the arms out for this active child's pose. And then as you're ready, lift your gaze so you can lift up and extend your left foot out and leg to the side. Walk your hands so that your right hand arrives underneath of your shoulder. Reach the left arm to the sky and then stretch it over the ear line. So you can turn that thumb up towards the sky. Again, you can look up or look down if that feels easier on the neck. Ground firmly through your left pinky toe. And then as you're lifting up, use your right obliques this time. Come onto the fingertips and then lift all the way up. Left fingertips will head towards our left shin. Right arm stretches over the ear line. Good. So lifting up and out, you can do that a couple of times if you feel like you're getting crunchy in one side. And then always option to take that top hand behind the head, looking up or looking down to find your space. And then when you're ready, bring your hands back down. We'll meet in a tabletop position. And from tabletop, walk your palms a palm print forward, tuck your toes, and lift your hips up and back. Find downward facing dog. So start off with a bend in your knees. Maybe you start to pedal out right away, side to side, lengthening the opposite heel. Let your head hang heavy in between your biceps, but continue to reach your low ribs to your upper thighs. And then keeping the gaze back towards the toes or up at the knees if that feels okay on the neck so that we can relax through the back of the neck. And on your next inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes. Looking forward, bend your knees. Take tiny little steps up to the top of your mat until your feet meet your hands. With a breath in, lengthen halfway. Slide your hands up your legs. With a breath out, bend your knees and forward fold here. Let the crown of the head hang heavy. Let your palms rest onto the earth. With an inhale, start to roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Arms reach up and overhead. As you exhale, hands seal back to the heart, Samastitihi. As you breathe in, stretch your arms out and up, look up. As you exhale, swan dive forward, keep a flat back on the way down. With your breath in, lift halfway, slide the hands up the shins, knees, or thighs. As you exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, and step back to high plank. Keep your shoulders over your wrists, your heels over your toes, strong through your arms and your legs. As you inhale, shift even more forward past your wrist creases. Option to lower knees down or keep them lifted this time as we lower halfway to our hover. Take an inhale, lift into lower high cobra. In fact, let's come all the way down and start with that baby cobra. Forehead to the mat, press into the feet. Lift the head, lift the chest. Little pressure in the palms. You might lift those here as well. And as you exhale, lengthen your forehead back to the mat. One more time, press into the feet, lift the head, lift the chest. Option to lift your palms. And then exhale, lengthen your forehead back to the mat. For a fuller back bend, walk your palms back first. On an inhale, lift all the way up. Arms are straightening here. Option to press into the feet and lift the thighs for upward facing dog. And then as you head back, either roll over the knees or the toes into downward facing dog. Breath in through the nose. And breath out to let it go. As you inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes, bend your knees, and exhale 2 big steps up to the top of your mat. Breath in lifts us halfway. Breath out folds us in. Inhale, stretch the arms to the sky, look up. And exhale, hinge and swan dive forward, send it right back down. Inhale, find length. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to high plank. Again, shifting forward first. If you want, you can always modify and bring the knees down. Lower halfway to your hover. Inhale, charge the chest forward, lower high cobra. Exhale, send the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Pedal out through your knees. Shake out your head, yes and no. Feet together at the back of your mat. With an inhale, stretch your right leg to the sky, 3-legged dog. With an exhale, step your right toes behind your right wrist crease. Dial your left heel down so your toes are at a 45. Stretch your arms by your sides like airplane wings, just so that you can feel into the foundation in your feet. And then once you've got warrior 1 legs, lift the arms up overhead and bring your palms together. Option to drop the gaze and look up at your thumbs. That feels okay on the neck. Press firmly through the back left pinky toe and see if you can energize that hamstring up and back. Take another breath in here. And as you exhale, bring your hands down through heart center and lower them to the inside of your right foot. Turning onto the ball of your right foot, lift your left heels and come into Skandasana at the top of your mat. Hands could be underneath for support. You could grab a block or whatever your block is at home this week, or hands to heart center for extra balance. Lifting up through the crown of your head, get really tall through the spine. And then you can do this with or without the support of your hands or with your blocks. Tiger crawl to the other side and Skandasana in your left knee. Right toes are lifting and we're getting a stretch here in the right inner groin. Lift up nice and tall through the crown of your head. And then as you gaze forward, take your block with you if you used it. Free frame your front foot, lower the back knee down and take a breath in. Stretch the arms up, Anjaneyasana. So instead of dumping through this front knee, even though it feels really nice on our left hip flexor, tuck the tailbone down. Make sure that the energy in your pelvic floor here, we're activating. So belly draws in, low ribs are pointed down towards those upper hips there. Try to relax your shoulder blades down and spiral your pinky fingers in towards one another. Option to gaze up or just look forward. As you exhale, bring your hands down, frame the foot. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, step back to high plank. Either moving through a flow here, or you can always skip those flows completely and head right back to downward facing dog. Always yogi's choice. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. As you inhale, sweep your left leg up and back, three-legged dog. As you exhale, step your left toes behind your left wrist crease. Bring your back heel down and step your foot out to the right a little bit. Arms javelin by your sides to help you find foundation. So right here, we're pulling this left hip back, trying to dial the right hip forward. It won't go all the way, but that's what we're aiming for. And then on your breath in, stretch your arms up for warrior one. I'm going to turn this way just so that when we switch to the other variation, you'll be able to see me a little bit better. Palms overhead together. Option to look up or look back and opening up the neck and the throat here. Relax your shoulders away from your ears and press firmly through the back right pinky toe edge. As you exhale, slowly lower your hands down through heart center. Bring the hands to the inside of your front foot. Now lifting the right heel, spinning on the ball mound of our left foot, skandasana or monkey lunge to the top of our mat. Again, with or without support. Standing up nice and tall through the spine. And then again, with or without support, moving to the back of your mat, skandasana in the right knee, lifting up through the crown of your head. Good, nice and tall through the spine. And then as you're ready, coming back with or without support to frame the left foot, lower your right knee to the earth, and stretch your arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana or low lunge. Right hip is getting a nice big hip flexor stretch. Left hip, we're scissor hugging to the back wall so that we're staying lifted out of the pelvic floor instead of dumping the weight into it, causing our low back to arch and to get really crunchy there. See if you can draw your arms back in space, opening up those shoulders. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, frame the foot, tuck the right toes, lift the knee, step the left foot back to plank. Option to flow or always skip it and head right back to your down dog. Always up to you. As you breathe in, feel the length through the spine. As you breathe out, settle in to your downward facing dog. With an inhale, lift up onto your tiptoes, bend your knees and look forward. Exhale, step up to the top of your mat. With an inhale, lengthen halfway, press away from your legs. With an exhale, bend your knees and fold in. Inhale, stretch your arms to the sky. While your arms are overhead, bend your right elbow and grab a hold of the elbow. Pull the hand down in between your shoulder blades to get this nice big lateral opening through your right side body. And now sweep your right arm underneath of your left for a hug, backs of palms or full Garudasana eagle arms. And just to stretch open the shoulders, take an inhale, lift your elbows up. And then exhale, release the arms, stretch the arms overhead. And as you exhale, hinge and forward fold. Lifting halfway, breathe in. As you exhale, plant your palms and step back to down dog. Right away, inhale, sweep your right leg up. As you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Lower your back knee to the earth and untuck the toes. Stretch your arms overhead. As you exhale, bring your right hand to your right hip and lift your left arm up and stretch it over to the right. Big lateral opening here. Try to keep your left shoulder blade in its socket even though we're reaching the left arm over. And keep scissor hugging the right hip back. As you're ready, bring your hands down, frame the front foot. Listen closely, tuck the back toes. Lift the back knee and straighten your front leg. Softly bend into the front knee and step that back foot in. Re-lengthen through your right leg for pyramid. With a breath in, find length. With a breath out, fold. You can do this with or without supportive blocks. Scissor hugging the right hip back, just like we did in our low lunge. This time the back knee is lifted. With your next inhale, lift halfway. Walk your block out if you have it. Soften into the front knee and lift the back leg for standing splits. So again, if you've got blocks, walk them back in line with your right ankle. If you don't, do that with your hands. Try to get yourself into the forward fold a little deeper. Standing leg is bending. Lifted leg is flexing up to the sky. As you're ready, soften the standing leg a lot. Step all the way back into a lunge. And when you're ready, inner thighs hug together as the arms stretch overhead, high crescent lunge. Pull your right hip back. Get higher onto the ball mound of your back foot. See if you can lunge a little deeper into the right knee. On an inhale, find length through your fingertips. On an exhale, open into warrior two. Bring the back heel down. Open your arms across the horizon. So a big long line of energy here. Keep your wrist in line with your shoulders. And then squaring everything off to the front of your room, lunge a little deeper into the front knee. With an inhale, flip your front palm and reverse your warrior up and back to the sky. Stay committed to the bend in your front knee. Back hand can find the leg or even wrap around the back. Just make sure that both side bodies, there's equal length in both of them here. As you exhale, straighten the front leg, tick-tock your right hand all the way down to your shin, and then look up at your left fingers. If this stance feels too wide, your back foot is easier to move, so heel toe that guy in. Soften your front knee and then rotate, left ribs open, right ribs are heading underneath of those ribs as we lengthen our tailbone back and reach out through the crown of the head. Take another breath in here. Stay for the exhale. Now inhale, come back up to stand. Slide your heels in, your toes out, and let's come into goddess squat. Sinking the hips down. Your knees and toes should be pointed in the same direction. Tailbone is reaching towards the earth. We're taking the arch out of the low back. And now straighten your legs, turn your toes forward, reach your arms out to a T. Hinge at your hip creases with soft knees, forward fold into wide-legged forward fold. Bring the weight into your toes. Bring your hands under your shoulders. If your head touches the earth, shorten your stance so that your head has something to reach for. And even though the hands stay stationary, you're pressing them forward as you invite your chest back. Inhale, lift halfway, hands under shoulders. Exhale, crawl to frame your right foot at the top of your mat, low lunge. Step back to high plank. Shifting forward, inhale, exhale, lower down. Breath in opens the chest. Press through your pointer finger and thumb here and send the hips to the sky. Downward facing dog. Turn the other way so you can see me here. With your inhale, take a breath in. With your exhale, let it go. Now inhale, sweep your left leg to the sky. As you exhale, step your foot in between your hands. Lower your back knee down and inhale, the arms reach up, Anjaneyasana. As you exhale, bring your left hand to your left hip and stretch your right arm up and over. Big opening from our right knee all the way through our right pinky finger. And then as you're ready, bring your hands down, frame the foot. Listen closely, tuck the back toes, lift the knee. Straighten the front leg, and now step your back foot in until both feet are able to be flat on the mat. With an inhale, find length through your spine. Scissor hug your left hip back and fold forward. If your hands don't touch the earth, bring something underneath of them that can support them. If you don't have blocks, hard-covered books work really nice if you're at home and you need something. And we're pressing through both feet equally here. Take an inhale, lift halfway. Soften into your front knee and exhale, lift the right leg to the sky. Standing splits. Use your breath in to continue to find length. Use your breath out to bend your left knee and fold over the leg. Try to lift your right leg even higher. Inhale here. And now exhale, step all the way back into a lunge. And inhale, sweep your arms up for high crescent lunge. This time our left hip is pulling to the back wall. If we need to adjust the tailbone or take the arch out of the low back, bend into your back knee, tuck, and then see if you can straighten back out through the leg without lifting the right hip point. With an inhale, lengthen through your fingertips. With an exhale, open into Warrior Two. Bring the arms back out to that Texas T. Pressing through the feet like you're trying to tear your mat apart with your feet. So both pinky edge sides of the feet are pressing firmly into the mat here. Squeeze your tailbone down towards the floor, glutes together. Lift up through the crown of your head. With an inhale, flip your front palm, reach up and then back to the sky. Reverse or peaceful warrior. Hand can take any variation that you like as long as there's equal length through both side bodies. Take another breath in. And as you exhale, windmill the hands down, straighten the front leg for triangle pose. If you're reaching so far that this left side becomes shorter than your right, come back up. Adjust your stance as needed, and then squeeze your tailbone towards your right heel. Reach out through the crown of your head. When you look down, your nose should be right over that left shin. But from triangle pose, as you're ready, use your obliques to lift up. Let's come back into our goddess squat, heels in, toes out. And again, kind of shifting side to side here until we feel that sweet spot where our toes and our knees are pointed in the same direction. We're able to keep core integrity. And then as you're ready, straighten the arms, turn your toes forward, interlace your hands behind your back. Pull your knuckles down, lift your chest up, hinge at your hip creases with a soft knees, and start to forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana seat. So finding a wide-legged forward fold with a chest expansion. If this bothers your shoulders, you can always bring the hands down underneath of the shoulders. Take an inhale and exhale. Bring your hands under your shoulders, lift halfway. And as you exhale, crawl to the top of your mat, framing your left foot and step back to high plank. Move through a flow here, or you can always skip it and head back to down dog. We'll meet in our downward facing dog, and together let's take a big breath in and a full breath out. Feet together at the back of your mat. With your next breath in, stretch your right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. As you exhale, bring your right knee behind your right wrist crease, set up for half pigeon pose. As you extend the left leg back behind you, make sure it's in one straight line. Our hip and our heel should be in the same line here. Walk your hands underneath of your shoulders, and if there's still space in between your right hip and the earth, fill it in with something, block, blankets, pillows, water bottles, they all work great. And as you keep that length through the torso, if you're choosing to come down, maybe onto forearms or forehead, working your way into sleeping pigeon, make sure that the torso stays just as long. Imagine you're stretching your left toes to the back wall and your fingertips to the front wall. And surrendering here for the next several rounds of breath. Breathing into that outer hip stretch in the right hip. Start to work your hands back up under your shoulders. I'm going to turn to face towards you so you can see me a little bit better for this next section. As we prepare, we're going to slide our blocks out from underneath of the hip, walk our hands back underneath. Now lean all the way onto your right hip and bring this left leg around and grab a hold of the leg. So you're continuing to lift the heel. You can grab behind the shin or behind the heel, wherever you have the space to grab. Relax your shoulders back and down. Sit up as tall as you can and try to invite your left shin and thigh closer to your chest. Keep your left foot flexed so your toes are pulling back towards your face. Good. And now go ahead and send the left leg out to the left. Slowly lower it down. Sit up as tall as you can. Stretch your arms up. Twist towards your bent knee. Left hand to the knee. And right arm is going to stretch up and over towards our left toes. Rotate your right ribs to the sky. Option to gaze up. Option to take that back hand behind the head and then press the head into the hand. Good. Come back up through center. Go ahead and release your grip here. Cross your left foot over your right knee. So we're in this sort of seated twist. If the left sits bone is coming off of the mat and you need to adjust, just slide this left foot out in front of the knee so both sits bones can ground here. Bring your left hand behind your back and your right arm to the sky. Take a twist to your left, either wrapping the right arm around the knee or hooking the elbow. Sit up nice and tall as you breathe in. Let your belly inflate. Twist deeper and pull your belly button to the spine as you exhale. And then go ahead and come back around through center. Lean back onto your right hip and swing your left leg back behind you. Hands under the shoulders, tuck the left toes and lift the right leg up and back. If you want to find scorpion and down dog or even flip your dog here, you can work out that hip flexor. And then let's meet back in downward facing dog to head into the other side. So when you're ready, feet together at the back of your mat, sweep your left leg up and back. And as you exhale, find half pigeon. Left knee comes behind the left wrist crease. Right leg scooches back behind us as far as it'll let us. Good. Walking the hands underneath of the shoulders. If you need support here, find your support. Slide it under. And then working your way down to your degree. We'll spend several rounds of breath here. It's cultivating, again, that openness through the outer hip on the left side now. Our hips are much like siblings, not necessarily twins. So you'll likely feel differences from one side to the other. Notice if this side is your tighter side or your looser side. And without judgment, just acknowledge which one is tighter, which one is looser. When you're ready, go ahead and walk your hands underneath of your shoulders. Slide your support to the side. Lean onto your left hip and bring the right leg all the way around. Grab behind your shin, knee, or calf. And then sit up as tall as you can. Flex your right foot. Try to maybe even bend at your elbows to help you guide that thigh a little closer to the chest. Good. And then send it out to the right. I turn sideways so you can see me a little bit better. And from here, reach both arms up. Turn towards your bent knee. Right hand to the knee. And left arm to stretch up and over for a gate pose or a gate stretch. And then again, either gazing to the left, maybe top hand comes behind the head. We're trying to keep those shoulder blades stacked on top of one another. Big breath in. Full breath out. And come back up to a seat. Go ahead and lift this right knee. Cross the foot over the knee. If this right sits bone is coming off of the ground, Just slide that foot out in front of the knee instead. Bring the right hand back behind you as a kickstand and your left arm to the sky. Take a twist to your right, either wrapping or hooking the elbow. And again, as you breathe in, inflate your belly. Exhale, pull it in. Breathe in. Getting taller and exhaling. Squeezing. Come around back through center. Go ahead and slide. I'm going to turn back to the face the front of my mat. Excuse me. The right leg all the way back behind us. Hands under the shoulders. Tuck the right toes. Send the left leg up and back. Bend the knee and peel open through your hip. If you want to circle out the knee. And then take your feet back to downward facing dog. Pedal out through your knees side to side. Just feeling that openness in our hips, the strength in our spine, arms and legs here. And then on your next breath in, lift up onto your tiptoes. Looking forward, let's go ahead and shift forward out into a plank and then lower all the way down onto our bellies. So I'm going to start on my left side first, just so that I'm able to face you in the camera here. Come onto your left side body, like you're setting up your beach photo shoot here. And then go ahead and lay long, head on the arm. Extend your top leg out in front. Bend your bottom leg and reach your top arm up. See if you can grab a hold of the foot. Kicking the foot into the hand, you could either relay your left head and cheek back onto the arm there, or you can make this more of a twist in your upper body and sort of use your left elbow to help you turn your chest to the sky and your shoulders down to the floor. Your gaze can head over to the right. And this is called cat's pulling its tail, if you remember from some of our yin classes. Try to get your bottom knee pointed directly at 12 o'clock. We get a nice big quad stretch there. We also get a nice big IT band stretch here in the right leg. And then when you're ready, come back. Bring your left cheek to the mat. Lengthen both legs long. I'm going to come up, or actually let's come onto our belly for in between sides. And bring your hands under your shoulders, your forehead to the mat. We'll start out by pressing into the feet. Lift the kneecaps off the mat. Lift your head. Lift your chest. Option to lift your palms. And then exhale, lengthen your forehead back down. Let's do that one more time together. Low cobra or baby cobra. As you inhale, lift up. Lift your palms this time. And now extend your arms back by your sides. Lift your feet off the mat for Shalabhasana or locust pose. Keep your gaze just past the bridge of your nose. On an inhale, try to lift your low ribs. Exhale, try to lift your mid thighs. And then lower opposite cheek, right cheek to the mat. Wiggle out your hips a little bit side to side. And as you relax, I'm going to turn onto my right side. So if you need to turn and face towards me here as well, go ahead and work your way onto your right side. You're going to lay your right cheek all the way down onto your upper arm. Your left leg, your top leg is going to extend long out in front of you. Your bottom leg is going to bend, and your left arm is going to come up. If we need to look up to grab the foot, that's okay. Grab a hold of the foot, and then let your head come back down. So you're either staying here if you're feeling a quad stretch in your right leg, or if you want a little bit more, make this into a twist. Kind of press yourself so that your upper body is twisting in one direction, your lower half is twisting in another. Gaze over to the left if you like. Keep pulling that left or right heel closer to your right glute for a deeper sensation in the quad. Take an inhale and exhale. Now go ahead and come back, right cheek to the arm. Turn the right cheek back to the front. Lengthen both legs. Come onto your belly for one final back bend here. You can repeat locust pose again if you want, interlacing the hands behind the back. Or if you have the space available, bend your knees and reach back to grab for feet or ankles, inside or outside. Try to draw your knees together, your forehead to the mat, and then kick your feet up and back. Lifting the crown of the head directly up towards the ceiling. Take your gaze forward and try to kick your feet to the back wall. Breath in and exhale, left cheek to the mat, lower down and window wiper your knees side to side. Releasing through the low back. Lengthen the legs long. Bring your forehead to the mat, hands under the shoulders. Press up and back into child's pose before we come all the way down. Knees together, forehead to the mat. Arms reach back to the feet. Breathing in and breathing out. And when you're ready, bring the hands underneath so you can press up to a seat and then work your way to the top of your mat. Sit to one side, bring your feet out in front. And if you'd like any extra support for Shavasana, go ahead and grab it now. Otherwise, grab behind your knees and lower down slowly onto your backs. Lengthen your arms and legs out once you get there. Reach your arms away from your midline. Let your palms be open towards the sky. Take a big breath in, fill up through your belly. Open mouth, exhale. Send it away. For the next several rounds of breath, allow your body to rest here and restore. Final resting pose, Shavasana. Deep peace to all of you. When you're ready, start to deepen your breath, inhales and exhales. Start to wiggle fingers and toes. You might roll your wrists and ankles around in a circle. Bring your feet together at the back of your mat. Stretch your arms overhead. Big full body stretch as you arch your back and lower your hips. Exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Roll over onto your right side. And when you're ready, press yourself up with as little effort as possible. Work your way into an easy seat. When you get there, reestablish a soft gaze in your eyes or close your eyes completely. Bring your hands together to seal at your heart in Anjali Mudra. Fan your fingers wide. Let's take a breath in together through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Bow your chin towards your prayer hands. And come back to those intentions, your purpose for being here today. And whether it was your driver for practice or not, know that it's something positive you can come back to anytime you like, by just coming back to your breath. Together, let's finish class with a breath in and a breath out. May peace, may love, may light be felt within each and every one of you. Bless you and everyone you meet. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your practice with me today. I hope to see you next week if you're joining me. And in the meantime, if you want to chat or you want to video chat, I am here for you. So thank you again for joining me.